All right, Jordan, the new Beatles song is out, and everybody is abuzz about the song coming out because earlier today, from iHeart, they sent out a notice on social media to everybody else in the company, anyone that would listen to them, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time in these United States, which is what, 7 in the morning out on the West Coast there. They're going to be debuting the brand new Beatles song, and that it was playing on these rock stations. I think other stations carried it too, because it's just such a big deal, I guess. But then the rock stations were going to be playing it at the top of the hour every hour for the entire day.
Feels like it's overkill, but I don't know. Like,
it's a big marketing thing.
Yeah, I saw it on Disney Plus. Like, it popped up. I was thrown on the new episode of Loki, and I saw Now and Then by the Beatles. I'm like, okay, what is this? Because I know they did that documentary last year.
Let It Be, Let It Be sessions, yeah.
So I wasn't sure if it was part of that, and then it just, I kind of checked it out. I'm like, okay, something new.
Didn't Peter Jackson did the Let It Be sessions, right?
Correct.
Put all that together, and somehow he was responsible for pushing for this too?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, is that he was big into getting that the Let It Be stuff done, and he's been working on tons of that stuff. And it came out that there was a unreleased song that was supposed to be part of, I believe, their anthology, and they decided not to go with it. It's just Lennon doing the music, playing piano, and then I guess it was just not up to par. So they never did anything with it. I think George Harrison vetoed it. I guess they took a vote. They said, no, let's not do this.
At the time,
they scrapped it for like 30 years.
Yeah. All right. So here's some background on the song here. So John was working on some songs before he died. Apparently, there were 4 demos that he recorded. Yoko had called George Harrison, I guess back in the 80s, sometime in the 80s, and said, hey, I have these songs that John wrote and performed on and never finished. Is there something that you guys would like to do with this? What can we do here? And I guess George talked to everybody else, and I forgot what the 4th one was called, but there's 3 songs that they worked on.
Right.
The 4th one never got anything with it, but the 3 songs they had, 2 of them were completed for that Beatles anthology thing that happened in the 90s. Remember, it was a big multi-part miniseries. It aired on ABC here in the United States, and I don't know where else in the world it aired on your own local networks. But each part had a different Beatles song that they were debuting. The first one was "Free as a Bird," which was all over radio. And then the second song was "Real Love," which also got all over radio, but I don't think did as well as "Free as a Bird" did. But they're on every anthology. They're on every greatest hits thing now. It's just part of the Beatles world, if you will. The 3rd song that they worked on but never finished was this song, "Now and Then." And as we talk about this now, obviously John Lennon's dead. George Harrison died a while back. So the only ones left are Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. So when they decided to finally get around to doing this one again, I forgot what Paul did an interview for BBC Radio, and I forgot what he said about why they were looking to get back to work on this song again. They had John's parts and his vocals already on the reel. They were good to go. George Harrison already did his guitar parts a while back, so they had all of that. Right. So what they did now was Paul asked Ringo to come in, put some new drum tracks down for it, and Paul he said I added new strings, so who knows what that could have been, more guitars, bass, harpsichord, who knows what he was playing, and put all of this together. I remember there was a buzz a little while back about AI being involved, but it just seemed the way they were explaining it was like, yeah, that's Pro Tools. Where it can harmonize and add chorus and synthesize voice patterns and stuff to give the feel of all 4 Beatles singing the harmony parts, the chorus, all of that stuff. So this song finally came together, and now it's being put out, and we have the song for us to listen to. It debuted earlier in the day, so not a world premiere. Who are we thinking that we would premiere any of this? But we're going to take a listen to it, give our thoughts, and I haven't heard it. It's weird. All day I didn't hear it. I somehow avoided it all. Not on social media. I saw the posts everywhere. It's all over the news. It's all over everything.
Yeah,
I just did not hear it. So I got a copy and I was saving it for here. Yeah,
I think the benefit is that I don't do a lot of terrestrial radio anymore, so I've been avoiding it.
Right.
And then let's listen to this thing.
Okay, this song is by the Beatles. It's called Now and Then. They've been promoting it. It's the final Beatles song, kind of. You know, this is the last one they're doing. I guess that fourth demo isn't going to be worth jack shit to anybody to do, but this.
I think that one was called "Grow Old with Me."
I think that's it. I think you're right. This is the final Beatles song. They had a flag hanging over Capitol Records in Los Angeles, big giant white flag with the cassette tape and saying "Final Beatles song." Like, this is a whole to do. We'll see how next week.
What a bar to set.
Yeah, we'll see how next week if anybody's still talking about this. But here it is, the Beatles, Now and Then.
Kind of a beat. It sounds like more like Paul McCartney's single like stuff.
Long intro.
Really?
You always say you like my style.
Oh,
they cleaned it up pretty good.
Yeah, I'm like.
Has a very 80s feel to it.
I was gonna say, sounds very 80s.
Sounds almost like Traveling Wilburys kind of thing, which was George Harrison's other band, and
which would make sense.
All right, chorus, I guess, is coming up here. It's not bad. Clean.
I like this.
Yeah, that's the Beatles.
Okay, I get the title now.
But the harmony. It's if the Beatles were alive in the 80s.
Yeah, like this is. I could see this. This would be like how they did a reunion. Like mid 80s.
It's a very 80s pop synth sound to the rock. See, that's like an 80s whatever that effect is they used.
I gotta say, this is more upbeat than I planned. Like I thought it would be.
I know. John wasn't recording a lot of upbeat songs on his solo.
This was like, you got to think 1977. This sounds way more.
When did he pass? 81, right? Didn't 81?
He died in, I think, 80, 81. I think 80.
Yeah.
But he had started doing this in 1977.
Again, Lennon was ahead of the curve. He knew, obviously this is all the music they put together after the fact. But the feel, the melody, the pacing of it, John was ahead of the curve. He could see that this is what the music was going to be in the next decade. Listen to this. The harmonies.
I gotta say, I like this. You know what this reminds me of? And this may be because of who's doing it now. This sounds like Paul McCartney in Wings versus the Beatles. Like, do you think they cleaned up the lyrics and made it more upbeat than John intended?
I don't know how you can change inflection to do that without it sounding super computerized now.
It could be the AI. I don't know.
But look, that's George's guitar solo right there.
Right.
Very 80s, very Traveling Wilburys, very I got my mind set on you.
I gotta say, I like this.
I'm amazed.
It's fun.
Yeah. They had to give Ringo a little solo part in there.
I know, right?
Like, focus on the drums a little bit. Although, gotta say this, everyone loves to shit on Ringo for the drums, but if you ever seen his other act, the Traveling Ringo Starr's All-Star Band,
right,
it's pretty damn good what he can...
He's talented.
He's like if Paul Schaefer was the leader of the band, you know?
Right.
Very 80s.
Like I said, I don't hate this.
I don't hate it either.
And this is being played on at the top of the hour.
Every hour on the hour, all the rock stations in across the United States on iHeart.
I'm not gonna lie, like you can't listen to that song and not feel happy about it. Like if that's the last song from the Beatles, that's
you're going out on a high note. John went out on a low note, but your song's going out on a high note.
Well, good for them. That unheard of band, the Beatles. Let's hope they have a big career.
Yeah.